Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. It is Ian and Thomas with you, as always, for another round of Premier League predictions. We're saying that we're up to week number 26 now. Maybe. But before we jump into this, we do have some exciting news. Not exciting for me. The first part of this news is I am getting well and truly spanked. Hands down.
Is this a multi-ball round?
Spanked.
It's a multi-ball round. Yeah.
It was double points, multi-ball, all the monster trucks, anything you like, Thomas. But he has an uncanny knack of getting these 3-point scores, and it doesn't even matter if I get this Brighton one right, which still has 20 minutes to go. He's beaten me, and he is up by 6 overall in the standards. What do you have to say for yourself, you scallywag? Right,
I am a champion. Ian, won't this put me like 5 clear? No, it'll put me 7 clear. 6 clear. 6 clear. We also have other news before Ian tries to jump over it, because that's what he does. We are on Patreon now, so please, if you guys want to support the channel, go to www.patreon.com/verybiasedopinions. We are there. It's in the description. Please, if you've ever super chatted us, forget about super chatting us, Patreon us. If you guys want to support us, Patreon us. And without further ado, we're gilding the lily. It's Manchester City hosting West Ham United.
Who could stop the Manchester City juggernaut, Thomas? Who can possibly stop this club from steamrolling away? Not you. I'm going to ask, can David Moyes do it?
Well, I mean, he broke the hoodoo this week, didn't he? West Ham United beat a top 6 side. And they did it handily, and I'm still in shock from the result.
I love that. All those
They're not
Spurs
top
fans
6.
Just clicked off the video.
We love all of you deeply. No, really good win for West Ham. They won 2-1. Obviously, Spurs scared them at the end. Bale looked good, but this isn't about Spurs. I'm getting off track. West Ham really good. David Moyes really good. West Ham top 4 club now, but Man City won like 8 straight in the Premier League or something. 12, 10 straight?
I think it's 13 straight in the league.
Jeez.
I don't know. I think so. It's absolutely.
There's another one.
The only probably danger they had against Arsenal was beating themselves. Like, they literally almost sleptwalked themselves into like a draw because it was so easy for them. West Ham, I imagine, will at some point cause Man City trouble in this game, because when they attack really well. Like, I really love the pace of the way Bowen plays, and they'll always cause trouble from set pieces. What is that face? Why?
City have only conceded 15 goals this year.
Yeah. I said that in the Champions League one. I said the run is 18, I think, in all competitions, and they've only conceded 3 goals in that time. So this defensive unit just does not crack under pressure. And as much as we'll talk up West Ham, it is going to be a City win, and I'm going to put 2-0 Man City.
I'm actually having a hard time processing this. I clearly don't listen to you when you talk in the Champions League videos, because I had no idea. But now that you're saying it, it's like drunken memory recall. I'm like, oh, that may have happened. But my hat is on backwards, so I'm probably lit. City will concede, but they will win 2-1.
Crystal Palace versus Fulham.
We are the worst channel on football ever. We are recording this before we even know what the result is between Brighton and Crystal Palace. Therefore, how could we possibly have thoughts on this? Sorry, I'm just joking.
I would actually say that's an improvement from what we've done in the past, where we've done things without knowing any of the scores.
I mean, at least we know that they've scored and it's 1-1. But I got to be honest here. Fulham have finally made the Premier League down the bottom mildly exciting. They're only 3 points away from Newcastle. Their goal difference is 6 better. They won this week, and they look like a rejuvenated side. I mean, they beat Sheffield United 1-0, but it feels like they're value for money right now when I'm watching them. It feels like they're grinding out these results, and it's 2 wins in the last 5, 2 draws, 4 games undefeated.
There's no question that they are the better side in the majority of the games they played as well. It was just a matter of they couldn't convert their chances, and it looked like that was going to be the case against Sheffield United. But Lookman, who usually likes to do anything but stick the ball in the back of the net, produced a bit of quality and scored a really good goal. And I fancy them to beat this Palace side because Palace just offer nothing. They're just,
God,
one of the dullest sides to watch. They really are.
I mean, so Palace have thus far in the match against Brighton, and keep in mind we still have over 10 minutes left, conceded 23 shots. I mean, are they even trying?
They scored a wonderful goal. Matata scored a brilliant bit of individual skill to score the goal from what was their only attack. And when they're not playing City, they're not playing Man United, they're playing Brighton for fuck's sake. And they're just literally almost like and yes, they're well organised, and yes, Hodgson does all right with what he's been given, but they offer no attacking intent. And Newcastle give Steve Bruce shit for that, but I don't see anybody giving Roy Hodgson stick for this at all.
Yeah, I think it's mainly because they look at the team, and the team is literally yet again on summer holidays, and it's 4 months before the end of the season.
Through midfield, I don't see where they are going to ever get a goal.
No. Well, there's some interesting stuff happening at Palace, but I'm not quite ready to throw Roy Hodgson under the bus yet. But this has been a pretty dire performance from what I can see out there. And you know what? There's no point talking about this too much. I've got Fulham to win this game. I think Fulham are going to win 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go. I think it'll be a 1-0 Fulham win, just like they did last weekend. But amazing job Scott Parker's done over the last few weeks to give themselves a chance now. Pretty decent chance of staying up now.
Newcastle United, 3 points clear of Fulham, hosting Wolverhampton Wanderers.
This is the other end of the relegation spectrum, isn't it? We've just talked about Fulham having a revival. Now we can talk about Newcastle seemingly being the most likely side to be caught out of the ones down the bottom.
Can you explain to me how... And just let me very quickly point everybody back to last week's episode when I said St. Maximin will score against Man United, and he did. But can anybody explain to me why the commentators are convinced that kicking the ball into the dirt is now what strikers are trying? It's like this thing. No, it's so clever. He knew exactly what he was... What?
There was a couple of times when Ozil used to do it where I generally thought he was doing it on purpose, right? There was a couple of... But St. Maximin has literally just swung a leg at a ball and it's bounced into the ground and picked up speed and gone into the top corner. It's a goal, it's gone in. But that's Newcastle to a T, really, I think, from their attacking point of view. It's like you've got all these players that are quite exciting to watch when they're on their game, but they're erratic as hell. And you cannot bank on them for any consistency whatsoever.
I think Callum Wilson being out as well might be the biggest problem they've got, because he's the only out-and-out striker that you kind of feel like he converts the easier stuff, like the tap-ins and stuff. He's what he does. And Maximin and Almer on are great, but not great at scoring goals.
No, they're absolutely right. And Joel Linton, and I've said probably the best player they have other than Wilson is probably Gale. And Steve Bruce doesn't seem to play him enough for my liking. At least he's a poacher.
Yep. So Newcastle, they've lost 3 of their last 5.
What I mean by that, he actually stops by the side of the road and picks up pheasants when people hit him with their cars.
Every now and then you say something that really tickles me. And on the other end of the spectrum, we have a resurgent Wolves side. They've won 3 of their last 4. They're undefeated in 4 straight games. They've gone from this team that I refuse to back to a team that I now think I should just keep saying is going to win every week, although I still don't know where the goals are going to come from because it is slim pickings. It took a marginal VAR decision to get them past Wolves, but they did get past Wolves at the end of the day. And
they beat themselves today. Beat Leeds.
They did. But if there's any manager that will not settle for mid-table, I feel like it's Nuno. He looks so annoyed whenever they don't win a game. So I think they're going to be going for this. I think Newcastle are going to be in the relegation zone come Monday morning, I think.
Could well be. The goal difference is terrible for Newcastle as well, isn't it? But yeah, and I think from Newcastle they'll be saying they wish they met Wolves maybe like 2 or 3 weeks ago when they were feeling sorry for themselves. Now they look like they got a bit of their mojo back, and they might not be scoring goals, but they got that cohesion back and being solid and hard to beat. And Patricio made some great saves against Leeds as well. What did you give us your score?
I'm giving a score. You get to go first.
Thank you very much. Well, I'm going to go... I don't think there'll be many goals in this one either. I think it'll be 2-0 Wolves.
Taking my score. I'll go 2-1, and I'm going to say it for a second straight week. Maximin to score. And I'll just do it this time. he's going to totally miss hit a ball and it's going to go in because that's how he scores.
Leicester City versus Arsenal.
I just got to ask, are you going to back Arsenal in this game?
Damn right I'm going to back Arsenal in this game, Thomas. You did not see what a great performance. I don't think anyone's pushed City as much as Arsenal pushed City in that one. They really should have come away with a draw. They were 1-0 down early and everybody was thinking this is going to be a cricket score, even though 1-0 is technically a cricket score. And they didn't buckle. They didn't fold. They proved once, time and time again, they proved why this great club is the only side to ever go unbeaten during a Premier League season. And they were honing in on that spirit, and they'll hone it in against Leicester. They're due a bit of revenge against Leicester. 2-1 Arsenal win.
Arsenal sit 15 points behind a Leicester side that all of a sudden are no longer Jamie Vardy incorporated. They got Maddison and Barnes playing what is honestly sensational football. I don't think any of us saw these two combining the way they have. Maddison has come back with an absolute vengeance from his injury. And he's one of those players that's made it pretty clear he's going to be there. He's going to score goals, and he wants to be on the plane for the Euros, and he's doing his best to get up there. And Jamie Vardy is still this nuts rabbit that gets in and behind constantly. Whereas Arsenal have lost 3 of their last 4. They've got 1 win in their last 6.
Look,
they're sitting 15 points behind this Leicester side, who, by the way, have won 3 of the last 4.
If you're picking sides for the Euros, you don't want to be picking players that aren't going to be in the Champions League. And that's why you're better off going for Arsenal players than you are be for Leicester, because we'll see at the end of the season, they're absolutely nailed on for top 4.
Right, you went 2-0 to Arsenal, right?
Yep.
Yeah, I'll go 2-0 to Leicester. Sheffield United versus ex-World Champions, ex-Premier League champions, ex-Champions League competitors, possibly Europa League competitors, Liverpool.
Come on then, Manchester United fan. Come on. Now is the time. Now is the moment. We want to hear everything that's been building up for the last 3 years. Here he is. Come on.
Ooh, oh, this feels so good. Oh, it feels so good to watch this happen. 4 straight losses. 4 straight losses for Liverpool. Everton are only behind them by goal difference and have a game in hand, so even if they draw, they go ahead of them. It is doom and gloom at Liverpool. They have sunk like a rock since their high of number 1 in the Premier League in December, whatever that means. Apparently that's a thing that matters. But we said this time and time again, and I really don't, as much as I love, it's just nice to see them in 6th place and not even qualifying for Europe right now. I'd love it for them to not qualify for Europe.
You know when they were like earlier on in the season when Arsenal fell down the league and they were right by the relegation zone, and people came out and said, well, could they go down? I was like, well, no, they're not going to go down. But then they won the next game. Liverpool losing to Everton. It's just that stage further now, isn't it? So it's like, oh shit, they might not get top 4.
The thing is, all they need to do is win their next game, and all Chelsea have to do is lose a game, or all West Ham have to do is do what we all think they'll do towards the end of the season, and they still have a perfectly good chance at European football. With all the injuries they've had, you've got to say it's actually really impressive.
They might even go and win the bloody Champions League, who knows?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's nothing more Liverpool than that, right? You're having a garbage year in the Premier League. What do? We win the Champions League. Why? What do you do at that point? If you're a Man United fan, you just cry. But I think they're going to be way too strong for a Sheffield United side who are just so bad. They've only scored 15 goals this season. It's awful. I think it's going to be 2-0 to Liverpool.
Yeah, it's a perfect game for Liverpool. But I do just say, if Sheffield United take the lead in this game, oh my God, I just don't know what might happen. But I think it'll be one more for Liverpool. I think this will be one of those ones where it looks better than it actually is. And I think they'll get a couple of goals late on and it'll be 3-0 to Liverpool.
I mean, they proved in Europe against RB Leipzig that they're still not a team you can take lightly. And they still have Mo Salah and Sadio Mane and Firmino. And they still have quite a good midfield, even if it's not their first choice, because their first choice midfield currently sits at centre back.
And if you're a Sheffield United fan, you're saying, oh my God, you didn't talk about us. Be thankful we didn't talk about you. You lost to fucking Fulham in a game you really had to win if you had any chance. So take that as a mercy and we'll move on to the next game. Western Bromwich Albion versus Brighton, Hove and Albion. Battle of the Albions.
In the Battle of the Albions, I suspect Brighton will be coming in on the back of a 1-1 draw having failed to score from their, what I believe, if I'm reading this number correctly, is 7,343 shots on goal they've had in this match.
Oh, this is like, honestly, have you ever seen like the second Lord of the Rings movie when like they're in the Battle of Helm's Deep? This is like a bit. That was nothing compared to what Brighton have just done to Palace. They absolutely battered them for 90 minutes and somehow did not come away with a win. All too familiar story, although I'm sure Graham Potter will still be hailed as the greatest English manager since, I can't think of another English manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer.
Have you heard all the rumors? Sorry, really quickly. Have you heard the rumors about him going to Spurs?
No, but I'm not really that surprised because he's the media really love him. And they don't give him any criticism. So
the team is in 16th place. They're 5 points above the relegation zone, but apparently they play the best football in Great Britain. If you listen to BT Sports, Sky Sports, BBC,
they do look good. When I watch them, I generally like. I can't say I'm bored watching Brighton games. They are really good to watch. And don't interrupt. They do look good to watch, but it's just that thing. It's that quality in the final third that just deserts them time and time again. They should have won. They should have scored 4 goals today, maybe 5.
12 draws on the season. It looks like it's about to be 13. It's honestly diabolical how bad they are in front of goal. They don't create a ton of clear-cut chances, and they attack with such little speed. It's like watching freaking treacle roll down an incline of 1 degree.
I don't know why. I have a different opinion of watching. I think they look quite good. They just can't score.
I think that they get way too much. Anyway, they get way too much praise, and a team that we don't really want to talk about is West Bromwich Albion, unless you have anything you want to say.
No, I just think that we'll see a lot more organised version of West Brom. I think that now they're going to be just playing 1 game a week. You'll see Allardyce trying to just do what he does and grind out wins, because that's the only way they're going to stay up. And I could see this one being a very similar game, actually. And I'll let you say your score for it. Are you going to go? That's pretty much what I was going to go for too. I could even see West Brom just seem to be, they'll score early, Brighton will get 1, and it'll end up with a 1-1 draw.
I mean, if we're being totally honest, right, we're 25 games into the season, and Brighton have drawn half their matches. It's 50% on.
Latest breaking news. Palace have just beaten them.
No!
94th minute goal by Ben Teak.
You do not take anything out that you just said of all the positives about Brighton. I will watch
the thing stays the same, right? Like, Brighton should have scored 5 goals in this game, and they didn't, and they got punished by the rare cheats. I still stand by what I say. I'm not lovely. Actually, to be like, literally anybody watch that goal. That is like you would not back Benteke to score this goal, and it's a wonderful finish again. 2 wonderful finishes.
Our mutual friend, who we know about Brighton, has just sent a series of expletive written riddled messages about what's just happened.
Roy Hodgson.
Yes. Also, you understand that this makes Roy Hodgson Gandalf the Grey. How great is that?
I like that. If I was a good editor, I could put that scene up now, couldn't I, with Roy Hodgson on the horse, steaming down the hill. I'm not that good. So don't get your hopes up.
Okay, let's talk about an exciting game. Leeds United hosting Villa. Vanilla?
Yeah, we probably should talk a bit about this one, considering we just spent ages talking about West Brom Brighton. But that's the way very biased opinions goes, I'm afraid. Nothing more to say. 0-0 draw. No, I'm just kidding. Villa without Grealish, though, Tom. This is the test. They will always. This is what everybody said about them all seasons. How they're going to do when they don't have Grealish or when they sell Grealish, and I didn't think they were that good in the last.
No, they were really not good. They didn't offer a huge amount, and
they got better in the second half. They were just pretty. Again, they just looked pretty toothless. It looks quite easy for Leicester.
There's something about the golf club of a left peg that Jack Grealish has that just opens up teams, and it creates this new dimension where even when he's not having a good game, at any point he can whip a 60-yard pass in, and it just
it's like he's everything to that team. Every player's lifted when he's on the pitch, because when he can get the ball, he glides past people, he takes Villa up the pitch, and he's just it's far better than anybody else they've got in their squad.
I may have said this too many times, but any player that can be punched in the back of the head and then do a 5-minute press conference with Sky Sports and just be like, stop talking about getting punched. I just scored the winner in a derby. He's a good player. Leeds, on the other hand, now I have questions about this. Outside the fact that we know I love Leeds, and we both know I'll back them in this no matter what, why do I keep reading stories about how long Bielsa's going to stay at this club? Because, and just hear me out here, if he leaves, they could get relegated as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, they
are
do.
So good under
He's
him.
come out and said he's not going to enter contract negotiations till the end of the season, which is fair enough. I mean, it's maybe just, I don't know, it's weird. You'd think he'd stay on a little bit longer, wouldn't you? He's doing a really good job there. And your Leeds are only 2 or 3 game wins away from being safe, and it's been a great season for them. And everybody, as much as people love to find fault, because they like to play exciting and entertaining football, I would say most people have taken them under their wing. It's like their second club this season.
I mean, they've scored more than bloody West Ham have, and they've scored more than everyone above them in the league up until you hit Liverpool. Like they're
why is bloody West Ham?
Because they're much higher in the table than them.
Fucking bloody West Ham.
You know, I don't want to do this anymore. I don't want to do this channel, but I'm going to see the rest of this video through. Leeds to win 3-0.
Shit, West Ham for no reason.
It's David Moyes. He needs
Yeah,
it.
he's the greatest manager Man United never had.
All he does
is
win. All he does is win.
You ask any Spurs fan if David... Oh, that's a good segue. You ask any Spurs fan if David Moyes is all he does, he wins. But in terms of this game, I'm going to go for a Leeds win as well. I think there'll be a 3-1 Leeds win.
Tottenham Hotspur versus Burnley.
Oh, we were just talking about Spurs, weren't we? It's all going wrong, isn't it, Tom? It's all going wrong.
I find it interesting that Jose Mourinho says there's things going wrong at Spurs that I can't fix, but I'm the right man for the job.
Plumbing, electrics.
We got some loose floorboards out the back, and it's not my speciality, mate.
Do you know who would be able to fix that? Dyche.
You say Johnny Woodgate, but yeah. Sean Dyche, Burnley. How did Burnley not beat this West Brom side? Burnley have looked so good recently, and then they got a man up, and they almost tried to lose for the next 60-something minutes.
I don't know. Yeah, not a good showing for them. Weirdly, how they had a game where they won 3-0 recently as well, haven't they? And so they go and do that. But it's another point they picked up. They're just hard to beat. And they've only scored 18 goals this season, and to have 28 points is quite impressive.
I hadn't even seen a few goals they'd scored.
And so look, they're fine. They're fine. They're not going to go down. And I think they'll give Spurs a damn hard game in this one.
I keep saying I'm not going to back Spurs. I'm not going to back Spurs, and then I back them again, and I back them again. I'm going to do it again this week. Harry Kane's going to start scoring. Once he's scoring, Son starts scoring. Lucas Moura looks rejuvenated. Gareth Bale has reappeared. I don't know what all that's about.
Oh, yeah, he actually did play really well in the last couple of games. Looks fit. That's the thing. He looks actually like match fit, which makes a massive difference.
Running at full pelt against Wolfsburger or whatever their name was as well it was just fun to watch him with that much look how much better I am than you. Him and Lucas Moura ripped apart. Anyway, Spurs to win 1-0.
Yeah, that's kind of the score I was thinking in my mind, but I will go 2-0, just to say, and it's just so difficult because as bad as they've been and as disappointing they've been, and they've been a bit shocking at the back, and Lloris was weak-wristed in the last game as well. They do have Kane and they do have Son, and you feel like at some point they are going to just do what they did at the start of the season and win games for Tottenham. So 2-0 for me, and we'll move on to the penultimate game, Everton versus Southampton.
Sorry, I was just reliving Everton beating Liverpool at Anfield. It just fills me with joy.
Are you talking about the time Kevin Campbell scored the winner?
Yes. Don Ancelotti, I'm not even rising to you right now. Don Ancelotti rewrote the history books as he rode Everton into Anfield and smashed them apart. Got a couple goals. Richarlison opened it early, and they ended up winning 2-1.
Do you like the way Duncan Ferguson was really there's pictures of Duncan Ferguson almost wanting to dry hump Ancelotti.
I heard that Ancelotti actually keeps a water bottle next to him. Down, boy, down.
Sluddy's just like, calm down, Duncan. Calm down.
I also just like how chill Ancelotti is. Even when he celebrates, it is like a mafioso. Yes, we've taken all of Sicily. Excellent.
He's cool, isn't he? He's just cool.
He's cool, and even with the players Everton have brought in the last couple of seasons, you can't see them playing better under anyone else. He's got them playing a really good brand of football. Every now and then they have a bad match. I think it was 2 weeks ago they lost after their 120-minute thriller. They lost to Fulham 2-0, and everyone's like, oh, this isn't good enough. But you just write that off. You go back and you do it again, and they look good, and they're coming up against the Southampton side that are being dragged into a relegation battle.
Pickford's terrible still, though, isn't he?
So bad. So I can't. Just people still hate him. Don't get it.
I think that they won despite him.
He's not as bad as Olsen. Olsen is much worse.
I don't know, man. I think that Pickford. I think if I had to pick the worst goalie in the Premier League, trying to get a rise out of him, he's not going for it. That'll be a common theme.
Let's get ready for the next game.
Yeah, I mean, it's just wonderful for Everton to finally, so they don't have to go to Anfield. And I talked about the Kevin Campbell thing because he was the guy who scored the winner the last time they won there back in '99 or wherever it was, and they don't have to be reminded of it the next time they go to Anfield. Southampton did get a draw against Chelsea, to be fair to them, to stop that run of which would have been 7 defeats in a row, which is shocking. And you're absolutely right; they don't want to be sleepwalking back into a relegation picture when it looked like at some point they might be going for Europe at some point this season. So Everton, weirdly though, they've been better away than they have at home. For some reason the bad performances for Everton have happened at home, but off the back of that win against Liverpool, I feel you have to back them now, and I will go for a 2-1 Everton win.
Yeah, I am not 100% convinced yet that Southampton are back to form. I don't think they'll actually get relegated, but I think they could have a rough time for a couple more weeks just trying to get stuff sorted out, and it's not helped by the fact they're playing teams like Chelsea and Everton and stuff you expect them to win. I don't think Everton have any game midweek or anything, so they've got a whole week to recover, put out their starting lineup. I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin's fit. I know he got hurt a couple times recently, but so I'll go with Everton winning 2-0.
And once again, we reach the final match, often overestimated as the main event. But this week, it certainly is. It is time for the main event.
Chelsea Football Club versus second in the league. That's right, second, not first. Manchester United.
Well, I do hope we actually see a game between two of the Premier League's top clubs that isn't just played to a 0-0 draw. Exactly right. But you don't want to hear my thoughts on it. You really, really don't. So let's throw it over to the resident expert and Manchester United fan, Thomas Pickering.
I really want to tell you, Ian, that there are goals in this game and that we're going to see something really exciting. I don't think Tuchel has any interest in doing that, and I don't think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has any interest in doing that. And on top of that, I do not understand the squad rotation system at Man United. So God knows if even the best striker at the club, Edinson Cavani, will even be playing in this game. Or if yet again Martial will lead the line and do next to nothing for the whole game. Marcus Rashford remains erratic but fun, but Bruno Fernandes is literally too good. Now you're going to try and bait me here, but he's the best player in the league. It's not even, yes.
I'm going to do what you did. Does he ever score a goal against a good side?
Yes.
When?
I don't know, I can't remember. Didn't he score against someone?
Flat trap bully, mate, in my opinion. Only scores against a good side.
I think he's been involved in something like 39 or 40 goals since he joined the club. Like, it's an absolutely unreal number over the course of a whole season. It's absolutely nuts. He is what is making Man United be in second. Without him and with Ole at the wheel, we would be careening out of the league. That's right, relegation would be on the card. In all honesty, I don't think either of these teams are going to risk anything. I think it's going to be an incredibly cagey match. We saw it earlier in the season. Frank and Ole almost had a handshake in the way out, just going 0-0, 0-0. I can't see Tuchel wanting to risk this winning run, this unbeaten run they're on, with a loss, and I can't see Man United risking anything because we don't risk stuff. It takes us. We're much more of a second half team anyway. We just try and see out the first half. So, with that being said, 2-0 to Man United.
Yeah, and you do have a factor of Chelsea have got a tough game midweek against Atletico Madrid, which you wonder what's going to take it out of the players. I know Man United got Europa League. Sorry, I know Man United got Europa League, but they have basically got the job done against Sociedad, so can rest everybody in this one. So might be a factor in this one, but yeah, I'm not expecting it to be a classic. But I think Man United will win it. I think Chelsea, they're still finding their feet under Tuchel, and a lot of the play is very slow at the moment. And it's not. I think it's not like you've got a lot of players that Manchester United are going to be really worried about, but just because of the way they create so much so far. And I think Man United will win by 1-0. A late strike by Martial.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, we leave you. That is all of our predictions for this week. Please join us tomorrow for League One predictions. The day after that, the Oxford United preview show. The day after that is Saturday, and we will be live streaming from 2:45. I do Soccer Saturday. He does the Oxford match. After that, there's the Oxford United review show in the evening. Also, check us out on Patreon. Please, if you guys enjoy the show, go on there. Be a patriarch. Patriarch. Be our patriarch. But seriously, thank you so much for liking. Please, scores below, comments below, predictions below, life savings below. We love you. Ian is sexy as hell, and we will see you again tomorrow.